actually worked at a pretty large law firm before law school as a receptionist, so I feel like I had a pretty realistic expectation of the summer program. I know that for a lot of firms, the difference between like the great fun summer and their first year associate year can be really different, and I wanted a place where that difference wasn't going to be so stark. Mostly I just wanted to work, and I wanted to be at a firm that was willing to give me the opportunity to learn, to make sure that like what I was practicing, the areas that I was trying to learn about were the right fit for me. And another thing that I was really looking for in a firm was some very solid diversity initiatives. I think in this day and age, it really wasn't as much of a plus as it might have been a few years back. It was definitely a requirement. Like I want to see associates that look like me, and even if they don't fully look like me, or even if like we're still doing some catch-up work, I want to make sure that the firm is committed to prioritizing those types of candidates in terms of recruitment, in terms of supporting your candidates that come from diverse backgrounds, like through committees, through meetings even, and just like any show of support and solidarity, I think is a good sign of progress. I interviewed in the middle of the pandemic, essentially, so all my interviews were fully virtual, which can get pretty exhausting, a little bit different from the in-person interviews, I guess. But one thing that made it a lot easier was that everybody that I interviewed with at Clifford Chance just like treated me as an individual and actually wanted to get to know me as a person versus just like looking at my resume and wanting to go through it point by point. Which, I mean, it's important to know your own resume, but also like you want to have a conversation with people, which I think they were really great about. And even afterwards, the whole team was great. They really stayed in touch with me, and they didn't even give me the opportunity to really get antsy about it, which was much more, I was infinitely grateful in a way that I didn't even realize until after the fact. One thing that really stood out to me was the work I was able to do with my sister's place, which from my understanding is a really long-term client with Clifford Chance, and they have just an amazing mission. They're working with victims of domestic abuse, and to be able to work with all these extraordinary women on such a meaningful project over a big law summer was something that was definitely the highlight of the program in general. First and foremost, I think it's really important to be kind to yourself. This is a really tough process. It's really new for a lot of people, and I think it's just important to know that there are people around you that are there to guide you and help you, and just be patient with yourself. I think it's also really important to focus on your personal statement. I know that Clifford Chance takes their review of all the application very seriously, but also as a candidate myself, I know that a lot of us write about adversity, which can be emotionally challenging to say the least. So if you find yourself struggling with that, which I would definitely relate to, I would just take a step back and maybe talk to your loved ones who would definitely be more than willing to offer you a fresh perspective on it, and your essay will be the better for it, because these papers really give you the opportunity to present yourself again as an individual versus just like a generic profile that won't really stand out to anybody. So it's important to speak about your experiences, but also respect your boundaries and your own where you are emotionally in speaking about adversity. And finally, I would say don't fall into the trap of comparing yourself to the friends around you. You're a completely different person. You're on a different path. You're pursuing different things. So don't start to feel down if other people have their summer situation figured out a little bit before you do. And on that note, like, also celebrate your accomplishments. You're getting through 1L. You're doing it. Like, you did the toughest part, and I think it's important to pat yourself on the back for that.